I love the energy because I think energy represents feelings and life more so than language and words. So it's the feelings you put behind it, you know. It's, when you say those things, it's the feelings behind it, folks.
Yes,
So
it's definitely so.
it's the feelings. So anyway, thank you for all of that you do and supporting Enlightenism within yourself and sharing it with others. And have a great day and continue on the path. I wish that to all of you folks have a great day and continue on the path to Enlightenism. Thank you, Sister Carolyn.
You're welcome.
Okay, folks, I'm Brother Malcolm. For those of you on another broadcast, you could hear Sister Carolyn talking. That's who I was talking to just now. I'm back with you live on the broadcast to talk about Enlightenism. My favorite subject is the philosophy of now. It's the freedom of the mind. It's the power we have to overcome our dependency on others and what others have told us about ourselves. When we understand a different type of freedom, step into your power with Enlightenism. That's the challenge. Who are you aware of being? Who is this person that you are aware of being? And how much power do you have in your life? What kind of power are you having in your life? I want to talk to you now. I want to share some insights about achieving a different type of freedom. You've heard people talk about freedom. People fight for freedom. Countries go to war with each other over the concept of freedom. And freedom represents the beliefs of that country. I'm talking about a different type of freedom. I'm talking about freedom of the mind. And how to tap into, or I should say, how to achieve this freedom by working in the mind. Because in the mind, you will find the consciousness of truth. The consciousness of truth provides us with the information that we need to live whole, perfect, and complete, colorless, faceless, and formless. This consciousness of truth is in all of us. It's the greater power that people refer to as God. I am saying the consciousness of truth connects us to the greater power of God. We have to first discover the truth about who we are. And we have to give up everything, all of our things in the world that we believe in, and follow the path that leads to the greater power. That seems like a lot you have to do. Well, freedom comes with a price. As I said, people fight wars for freedom. Many people must die in order to get the external freedom that this world has to offer. You also have a dying process in what I am talking about. The victim in you must die. The powerlessness in you must die in order for the enlightenment in you, the Enlightenism in you, the greater power in you to live in you. You see, when we're in the darkness of toxicity and illusions, there's nowhere for the consciousness of truth to get through. We are too far removed from ourselves. And when you're too far removed from yourself, then you become dependent upon the source of power that removes you from yourself. So the world separates itself from the consciousness with beliefs and values, things that people teach. And then they begin to worship the things that they teach. You have to think about it now for a while and take for a moment to relax and say that you are not dealing so much with the judgments about the information, but you're understanding how you acquired the beliefs and values about yourself. How did you find out? How did you find out about your name and what names mean? And someone got really upset. Someone with some other older African Americans got upset when blacks started using different names that were non-European, and some went on campaigns to belittle the people. So you're never going to get a job with a name like Antoine or Jerome or Joanna or something, Shakira or something. Some kind of names that people would use, and you would say, well, that's not going to get you a job in American society. That wasn't the point. See, the point is a name. And the name does not define who you are. You can be any name. And that was the point. But when you believe that your name represents you, then you must also believe the origins of the name, where it came from. It came from someone else. Made it up. Like Malcolm. Think about it. Like Malcolm. I had a lot of problems growing up because no one wanted to call me Malcolm. So they didn't want to call me Malcolm. They wanted to call me something else. But I understood that the name didn't make me who I am. It's not my name. It's what's in me. And when you think a certain way about yourself, then you act that way. There was a book several years ago. Well, it was a number of years for the first book. Title of it was Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Then there was a later version, many years later, called Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice by Dennis Kimbrough. He was playing off of the work of, expanding on the work of Think and Grow Rich of Napoleon Hill, and had said a black choice, with the understanding that Napoleon Hill had not really written the book in a way that blacks could deal with it and benefit from it. So we have to add a clarification to it. But it's still the same concept, same work. Think and Grow Rich. Enlightenism is about the inner journey and acquiring and achieving a different richness. See, it's not about rich in the sense of things outside of you. It's not about richness in the terms of 7 steps and you're going to achieve wealth. This is about something in you, the richness in you, the power in you, the greatness in you. There's nothing any more valuable than to discover this power for yourself and not please other people. It's not about pleasing other people. It's about the gratification, the self-gratification of believing and accepting that you are greater than the way the world perceives and defines you. So that we overcome all of these limitations that others are placed upon us. And it's challenging. Because even the work that I'm doing, it becomes challenging to separate myself from my form and what the words are used to define the form. In other words, I'm black, African American, color, or whatever words that someone wants to use in society to define me. Now, to work to overcome it, I don't feel this way attached to the form and to the information when I'm working in consciousness within me. I don't feel this way. And you won't either. You'll feel very different about yourself. you will feel a new freedom. And it's a freedom and joy that this world cannot give you. Something so great and wonderful and exhilarating about the experience. When you are removing your consciousness from the form and the body, and you stop seeing yourself totally consumed by the form, then you're into consciousness, and you're into the essence of who you are. And now you're no longer able in that mindset of consciousness when you work in the mind and you begin to remove things, overcome things, so that you can let the light within guide you to a place where you hold perfect and complete. That's freedom. That's the other freedom. See, I'm talking about the other richness. Think and grow enlightenism. Think and achieve enlightenism. Work in the consciousness and achieve enlightenism. Self-direct knowledge is enlightenism. Self-direct knowledge comes from the consciousness within you, the consciousness of truth. And in that development of the mind, woo, folks, you're no longer dealing with all of these excuses. The pity part is gone. All the questions that someone may have for me today about what I am talking about, this new freedom. And I would imagine that if I was at Stanford or Cal Berkeley somewhere today, and I was talking to some students, they would be searching for something to refute what I'm saying, because this is what they've learned in the university. The refutation of something that has been presented. Looking to poke holes into it. And in doing so, poke holes into themselves. To deny what I am saying is to deny yourself. You have to have something other than what other people have told you. You have to know something. There has to be something greater in you than to depend upon a telephone to communicate. And then once someone creates the telephone in the past, you just build up on it and think this is the solution. Just like in mathematics, it's an axiom now. And we're just going to build up on it. It's going to be self-evident that this is the way to best to effectively communicate. Well, what I notice when I'm working in consciousness, I don't use a telephone. I don't hear any sounds, any voices or anything. It's just totally complete communications without sounds. So you are now free in all of these distractions that you believe in. So that people get into semantics, you want to get into semantics and say, well, this is what it meant. So I'm going to tell you what Aristotle meant, or Wittgenstein. I'm going to tell you what they meant when they said such and such and such, or what Freud meant by the head, and all of these other things. Well, none of that happens when you free the mind of your dependency on others. When you free your mind of the dependency on others, you have the complete confidence that you are whole, perfect, and complete. And in order for you to relinquish this awareness of being, you must become aware of being something else. And when you become aware of being a product of this world, the external world, then you have a lot of problems. And your life is going to be filled with struggling. For the rest of your life, you're going to struggle. That is the nature of creating things in the external world. They're all temporary. But when you create something in consciousness, it's forever. It's forever, folks. And it's you. So we're not enabling people to become dependent upon the past. This seems far-reaching sometimes even for me when I say it, because there is a tendency to believe that if you give it all up, you don't have anything. You don't know how to create anything. You don't know how to create a different system. And yes, you do. There is a better way to communicate with each other than the way that we are communicating with each other, except we don't believe it. There is a better way to live together than the way that we're living, except we don't believe it. And when you don't believe something, it means you believe something else. And there's that something else that causes the victim in you to live, the powerlessness in you to live. And it has nothing to do, victimization and powerless has nothing to do with race and color. It's every human being in the world that is using something that the world gave them to think and live. Whatever it is that you're using to think and live and achieve power, if it did not originate with you, then it must have originated somewhere else, from someone else. So the origination it's coming from someone else and not from you. Enlightenism comes from you. Enlightenism is the energy in you. Enlightenism is the power and clarity in you. And Enlightenism is ageless. It never grows old because the thoughts are always in the present, not rooted in a chronological, evolutionary path or development where you're relying on what happened to you in the past to live in this moment. And you don't need the past to live in this moment. You need a commitment to yourself. And that's what this broadcast is about. That's what this information is about. That's what Enlightenism is about. That's what the challenge is about. Step into your power with Enlightenism. Step into your power with Enlightenism. I'm Brother Malcolm. Be back with you again. Keep watching and become a participant and subscribe to the broadcast. Have a great day.